Welcome to the Daily Intelligence Brief from IntelStor for the 7th of May, 2025. In today's top renewable energy news, South America's offshore wind sector is grappling with regulatory bottlenecks and infrastructure gaps. These issues threaten to delay one of the world's most promising green energy pipelines in emerging markets like Colombia and Brazil. A long-awaited offshore wind law, enacted in January 2025, allows auctions to start this year. However, Brazil's Congress has yet to resolve vetoes on contentious clauses, including revenue allocation and coal plant extensions. The government now expects the first auction in 2026, 2 years behind schedule. Colombia, with 50 gigawatts of technical offshore potential, is moving to launch its first projects by 2030. Canada has historically had a very favorable policy atmosphere for wind energy. But ever since 2011, the province of Ontario has had a moratorium on offshore wind development in the Great Lakes. There is now a group in Canada pushing the Prime Minister to change the policies at a federal level so the abundant offshore wind resource can be exploited. The newly affirmed government in Canada has an opportunity to propose this to Parliament in the coming months. Given the recent questions surrounding Canada's sovereignty as well as the potential demand increases and rising electricity costs, it is believed that the time has come for the exploitation of the offshore wind resource in the Great Lakes. On Wednesday, Norway and Britain signed a memorandum of understanding on a green industrial partnership. The partnership will promote green industrial development, build expertise in low-emission sectors, and support value chains for raw materials. Key focus areas include carbon capture and storage, hydrogen, offshore wind, as well as green value chain development. Britain is Norway's second-largest trading partner after the European Union, and bilateral trade reached over 530 billion Norwegian kroner in 2024. The Ministry of Mines and Energy in Brazil has recently announced they plan to have their permitting framework for offshore wind farms completed and published later this year. Data from Brazil's environmental agency, IBMA, shows 20.7% of proposed offshore wind areas overlap. Under a newly proposed law, those projects which overlap may be merged, relocated, or scrapped. Investors have been anxiously awaiting these new laws and regulatory procedures. The Brazilian offshore wind market looks poised to see some investment that had been intended for the United States redeployed to a more promising market opportunity. The spread between power prices in Europe's two biggest electricity markets climbed to the highest so far this year amid scant wind generation in Germany. German day-ahead power for Thursday rose 4.3%, pushing the premium over its French counterpart to the widest since December. The growing disparity highlights the ongoing volatility gripping Germany's energy system, which is increasingly reliant on renewable sources that are dependent on weather. You can learn more about all of IntelStor's market and sales intelligence offerings at www.intelstor.com and subscribe to our channel today.